Jack could withstand all attacks in the world. Six saints all believed that Jack would definitely become the strongest person in the future. They decided to jointly train Jack. Jack first followed the sword saint to learn. He trained hard every day, but after 3 months, he had only learned the most basic parrying skill. This made the sword saint doubt Jack's talent. However, when the sword saint released top-level sword techniques, Jack could easily see through the sword saint's weaknesses. This shocked the sword saint greatly. This indicated that Jack was indeed extraordinary, but he can't learn anything but parry. He couldn't even use low-level sword moves. The sword saint thought perhaps he wasn't suitable to teach Jack, so he had Jack go learn from the berserker. The berserker's training was very brutal. They had to endure being struck by rocks with their bodies every day. This day during training, a huge rock suddenly collapsed. Jack chose to face the boulder head-on. The berserker thought Jack possessed a tenacious spirit. As long as he could learn skills, he would definitely become the strongest warrior. But 3 months later he still hadn't learned any skills, so Jack came to follow the sharpshooter to learn. Jack always broke the bow. This made the sharpshooter somewhat angry. However, Jack was very accurate at throwing stones. He could precisely hit the fastest flying birds, but he still couldn't learn any archer skills, so Jack followed the mage to learn. The mage taught him the most basic fire magic. Unexpectedly, Jack could release 2 flames simultaneously. The mage was shocked. The dual casting technique that took him 60 years to learn. Jack was born knowing it. However, 3 months later, Jack could still only use the most basic fire magic. This greatly damaged Jack's confidence. He thought he was an incompetent person, so he left the academy alone. When the six saints learned of this, they immediately held a meeting. They all believed Jack possessed extremely high talent. It was just that their abilities weren't sufficient to teach Jack. After returning, Jack only did one thing. That was to continuously practice parrying. This was the only skill he knew. At first he could only parry 10 wooden swords. Later it became 100. Until finally he could simultaneously parry 10,000 wooden swords. At this moment Jack still didn't know. He had already become the world's strongest person.